Bonjour et bienvenue en France, or should I say, welcome to France. Good afternoon. Welcome to the finals of the opening round of the CIK FIA European Championships for the first time in 2016. Well, just as we get ready for the first pre-final, which is for the KZ2 category, the sun has come out to shine. You can see the flowers in the fields in the background because it is springtime here in Europe. The weather has been the big talking point here this weekend, but the sun has been, well, it's really timely to see it out at this very point in time as we get ready for the first of our pre-finals. Tyres have been a big talking point. It is a very abrasive circuit here at SA. It is 1,220 metres in length. The circuit was constructed in 1999. It hosted the 2014 KF and KF Junior World Championships and is the host venue for the first round of this year's series for the shifter kart or gearbox categories. As we mentioned, in a few moments' time, we will get underway with our first pre-final for KZ2. My name is Ian Silvestrin. I will be your commentator throughout the year for not only this first round, but for all of the European and World Championship events, which you can watch live on CIKFIA.tv. A few minutes to go before the start of this 25-lap journey. The front row of the grid, the battle continues. Like Mercedes versus Ferrari, it is CRG versus Tony Kart. As you look at Luca Corberi on screen, the number 301 factory team driver from Brescia in northern Italy. We'll also note that they're using the OMP race suit. Small subtle change for the green team for 2016. But it is Stan Pex, the Dutchman in the Vortex-powered CRG, who will start out of pole position. So you look at Paolo Bossonsone, the best placed local driver. He had a great pre-final. He will start on the second row of the grid. Possibly the shortest driver in the field, which might give him a 1 or 2k an hour advantage in a straight line at some of the fastest circuits, particularly the likes of Zuera and Sarno. Not so much here. The top speed at SA is 136 k's an hour. As Fabian Federer, the 2011 European champion, climbs aboard his Modena-powered CRG kart with engines tuned by the driver, now turned team owner, who qualified fastest at the corresponding round of the championship at Sarno, Italy 1 year ago. That is Mike Sibecki. The Sibecki Racing Parts racing team stepped back from driving duties for 2016. He has hired Fabian, and so far so good for the German-Italian alliance, because Fabian Federer in number 307 starts out of grid number 4. We're only expecting a top of about 7 degrees here today, as you look at Leonardo Lorandi, who did qualify on pole position out of the 58 drivers competing here in KZ2 this weekend. It has been bitterly cold and rain throughout qualifying in the heats and even official practice on Friday. This is Alexander Schmitz, winner of the final round of the 2015 championship. He won that in Genk last year with a brilliant drive. He had a great pre-final as well. He charged through from grid 15 to finish 4th in pre-final 2, which was red flagged after an incident involving the top kart driver Matteo Vigano. How about this kid from southern Italy, Alex Irlando? Stepped up from the Rotax category. He won the Rotax Grand Finals in Portimao last year. He's climbed aboard a KZ2 kart for the first time, and he has been super impressive. He starts the final out of grid number 7 alongside Schmitz that we just saw a moment ago. He's been in the top 3 throughout the weekend, finished 4th in the pre-final, but has always been in touch with the leaders. Alex Orlando for the Team Energy course. Of course, that's the chassis. It's not the actual car, but it's the chassis that won the 2015 European Championships in the hands of the Swedish driver, Joel Johansson, who himself has stepped up to the KZ class and switched teams across to Gold Kart. Alex Orlando says, I like the look of that energy kart. and he has been really competitive in his debut breakout year in the KZ2 gearbox class. The Dutchman Dylan Davies. He's had a good run so far this weekend. Starts out of grid number 9 in the TM-powered CRG. The black CRG with the black CRG suit for the Dutchman in kart number 324. Slight breeze blowing here in Essay, Orny-le-Bois, en Normandie, le nord de France, en northern France. It has been bitterly cold. You can see the uphill start, which has been a real, well, let's say, challenge for the drivers because the karts do tend to roll back. They just need to hold the brakes on a little bit in order not to roll back when the 4 red lights go out and we go racing, which will be just in a few moments' time. So let's go through the grid for you. Pole position for Stampex, the Dutchman, number 305, alongside Luca Corberi. Second row, Besson-Sané and Federer. Look at the ominous clouds in the background. Let's hope that those clouds blow over into the English Channel while these races go on at least. Third row of the grid is Piccini and Lorandi, Irlando and Schmitz, Dylan Davies and Nicole Gonzalez, the second Frenchman, Benjamin Torquist, Dalberg, Scaris and Norris with KSM Racing, Petit, Pico, Ippolito for the Lenzo kart team. He's had a pretty good run this weekend, but did have a bit of an incident in the final after coming together with the now Australian driver, Marijn Kramers, who starts out of grid number 20. Go right to the back of the field. You can see there that Matteo Vigano in grid number 32, after being involved in that incident, will start the final, which was red flagged. We went back a lap. He was 16th at the time. Scrapes into the final in very last spot is the Maranello driver, Alberto Cavalieri, who himself has switched from the Gold Kart team last year. Remember, he won the pre-final in Sarno last year. I think Ippolito has pulled into pit lane in the Lenzo kart. If I'm not mistaken, we saw one kart disappear out of screen. You can see him at the back of the field there. He's pulled into pit lane with some sort of issue, desperately signalling to his mechanics. He's stepping out of the kart. Well, this is a tragedy. I think we've lost the Lenzo kart driver, Ippolito, before the race has even begun. He will miss the start. You can see him lifting the kart up. I think he's effectively out of this one. Mechanics rushing to his aid. Unless we get another lap, I think we are going to lose the Lenzo kart driver before we've even started. The last kart's pulled into position. We get ready to go racing for the first time in 2016. 25 laps the distance. KZ2 final number 1 for the opening round of the European Championships for 2016. 4 red lights. We go racing. Corberi gets off the line. The 3 Tony karts come together. Piccini was out in the grass, but Stampex has got off the line nicely, and the Dutchman leads down into turn number 2. The field makes their way through a couple running a little bit wide, but a relatively clean start. Pex, Corberi, good start by Federer. He's under attack from Alessio Piccini in the other top kart, who himself is dicing with the baby race driver. That is Leonardo Lorandi in 5th spot. So just confirming that we have sadly lost Ippolito before the race has even started. Pex is your race leader. From Corberi, there's Federer. They come round to complete the first of 25 tours here in France. Federer in third, Besson-Sané, Lorandi, Irlando, Piccini, Davies, Gonzalez, and Alexander Dalberg. The Swede rounds out the top 10. Corberi closes in on the back of the Dutchman. Fabian Federer, as ever, hunched over the steering wheel of that CRG kart. The driver who won the 2011 European Championship sits in 3rd spot. As those clouds we saw a moment ago at the start of this race in the background really start to close in. The weather is super changeable here in Normandy. Don't be surprised if we get a few drops of rain on our camera as Corberry pulls out. Oh, he almost touches with Stan Pex. What a sensational move. Corberry blocks the inside. Federer tries the highlight on the Dutchman. He sits there in third spot. Paolo Pesonsone watches on. Leonardo Lorandi in fifth spot. What a brilliant move by Luca Corberry. He's now got the lead. We look at the replay. They almost touch. I think they did. Kiss Vega retires. Unbelievable stuff. Brilliant skill by both the Dutchman and the Italian Corberry. With the factory, Tony Kart Racing Team now leads the opening round of the 2016 European Championships. Look at them bunched up from second through to seventh. It is Pex, Federer, Pesonsone, Lorandi, Irlando, Piccini, the Frenchman, Nicole Gonzalez. There's Federer on screen in third spot, under attack. Pesonsone tries. He'll be coming under attack himself from Lorandi, the baby race driver up the inside. Oh, they're touched. Pesonsone's out. Pesonsone has been turned around. Let's see if he can recover down the field. Lorandi skips through in fourth spot. Alex Irlando, the energy car driver, has got through around the outside. Lorandi missed a gear on the exit of that turn. Federer on the tail of Pex, and now it's starting to rain. Let's look at the replay. Pesonsone tried it. He tried it on Federer. Couldn't go through. Federer now has gone through into second spot. Well, we were looking at the replay. What a brilliant start to the opening round of the European Championships, the final for KZ2. A little bit sideways, a little bit of opposite lots for Fabian Federer. The rain is now starting to come down here in SA. The umbrellas are going up in the grandstand. Lorandi down the inside of his countryman. The baby race Tony Kart goes through on the energy cart. Irlando back to fifth spot. He's got Alessio Piccini behind him in the factory Tony Kart. And then behind him is Nicole Gonzalez in the Sodi Kart. The French kart, the French driver here in France in position number 7. Schmitz, meanwhile, we mentioned him. What a great run he had in the pre-final. He's dropped back through the field. He's down in position number 15, just ahead of the two French drivers, Jamin and Picot. Take a look at the replay of Lorandi over the ripple strip. He did get the job done. Irlando, give him credit. He gave his countrymen some space. You can see the opposite lock. It is now starting to rain. You can see them trying to use their body weight to get the karts to turn in, to get these Vega slick tyres to bite on this super abrasive SA asphalt. There's Gonzalez going through in the 312 Sodi Kart. Head of Dahlberg, Scatus. Dylan Davies has dropped back to 11th. One ahead of Marijn Kremers in the Birrell Art. So, after 5 of 25 laps, your race leader is Luca Corberry, and he has disappeared up the road. He's got a gap of 2.3 seconds over the CRG driver that is Fabian Federer. Third is Stan Pex, the pole sitter. They've dropped about 3 seconds a lap over their times from the pre-final. In fact, it's 49, even 50 seconds that they're lapping in at the moment. Down the start-finish line, Lorandi. You can see him in the white and blue baby race Tony Kart. On the back of Stan Pex, the Dutchman. Lorandi really likes to use that ripple strip on the exit off turn number 2, doesn't he? He's getting the power down quite nicely. He is in position number 4. Your race leader, Luca Corberry. They can't see which way he's gone. He's 3.6 seconds up the road. Once again, we look at the replay. This was just a lap ago, and even in that, you can see how the sky was just a little bit lighter just 2 minutes ago. Well, is that going to be an issue for Leonardo Lorandi? Because you can see his nose cone has been pushed in. The stewards will have a good hard look at that Tony Kart when it returns to Parc Fermé. Irlando over the back of his countryman. Nice drive by the energy driver from Puglia in southern Italy. The chassis, the manufacturer at least, that won the European Championship 12 months ago in the hands of Joel Johansson. Irlando has stepped into the spot vacated by the Swede, and he's doing a superb job this weekend. That is the battle for 4th. Not too far behind them is the Frenchman, Paolo Bessonsonet. Piccini, Gonzalez, Dahlberg is 9th. Dylan Davies rounds out the top 10. Behind them is Skaras, Marijn Kremers in the Birol Art, Petit, Francesco Iacovacci and Alexander Schmitz in position number 15. Credit should also go to Alberto Cavalieri, the Maranello kart driver who started out of grid number 34, is now in position 17. He's passed 17 karts in 8 laps, an average of 2 a lap as Iacovacci sets the fastest lap of the race. Cavalieri right on the tail of the German Alexander Schmitz. Cavalieri is driving a Modena-powered Maranello kart and is absolutely flying. We have not even reached half the race distance. And the rain thankfully has eased off as the breeze really starts to pick up and hopefully blows that precipitation into the English Channel, which is only about 60 miles or 100 kilometres away from this circuit, Ornay-le-Bois. There's Alessio Piccini, number 306, just ahead of the Sodicat driver, that is Nico Gonzalez. Dahlberg, Kremers now up into position number 10, having come from grid 20, the Birol Art, now powered by the Texav Iami. It's got some good speed. The driver who now calls Australia home is up into the top 10, trying to chase down the Swede Dahlberg. Cavalieri still sits there in 17th behind Schmitz. So we go back to the front. Hex, the pole sitter. The CRG with the Vortex engine. You don't say that too often, do you? Bitter rivals over the years. But they've tested it recently. And Stan said, hey, we like it. We particularly like the power that the Vortex engine has got in 4th, 5th and 6th gears. It's got the torque range that we like. Their engines are still tuned by their good family friend, Jos Verstappen. Yep, Max's dad, watching on CIKFIA.tv. Stan, of course, finished on the podium at Genk last year. He had 3 heat wins yesterday and sits in 3rd spot with 1/3 of this final done here in SA, the opening round of the European Championships for 2016. Your leader across the line is Luca Corbetti. He's already disappeared out of screen because he's got 3.7 seconds over Fabian Federer. Stan Pex is third in this battle, which includes Laurent the Irlando, Paolo Bessonsonet. Gonzalo Piccini is 8th. Dahlberg and Kremers still holds down 10th position. Oh, a mistake there by the energy kart driver who's just run a little bit wide. And that's allowed Paolo Bessonsonet to go through up into 6th spot. The Tony Kart driver, you can see how low he sits. Paolo Bessonsonet, let's have a look at the replay. Irlando down the inside. Well, he was actually having a look at Lorandi, wasn't he? That explains it. Had to hold up the brakes, a slow exit speed. Paolo Bessonsonet says merci beaucoup and goes through into 5th spot. The French driver here in France, yeah, the 302 Tony Kart. Look at Paolo, how low he sits behind the steering wheel. He's not the tallest driver, but he's not really the shortest driver either, but they've got it set up so he sits so low behind the steering wheel. He almost looks like a junior driver. But a very, very quick young talent is Paolo Bessonsonet, currently in 5th spot, as Alex Irlando tries to recover from that almost error on Lorandi. That actually cost him a position. They come through to start lap number 13 of 25. So this is half race distance of the final. Corbetti, the lead is 3.8 seconds. He's giving them a driving lesson here in SA. Federer in the CRG is 2nd. Then it's Pex. Lorandi, the blue and white Tony Kart. Oh! Paolo Bessonsonet with a big look on Leonardo Lorandi. Had the 4-wheel discs of that Tony Kart locked up. That may well cost him. Irlando watches on. Lorandi has a look over the shoulder and says, "Oi, what are you doing? We're both losing time to the leaders." Lorandi did not flinch, held his line. The Frenchman could not go through. As we look at the replay, Lorandi, brilliant nerve held by the Italian, did not let the Frenchman through. Irlando, let's see what the energy course driver can do. The Sonsonnet will wind up that Tony Kart to try again on the baby race driver. Leonardo, whose older brother Alessio, racing in the FIA Formula 3 Championship this weekend in Hungary at Budapest. You can see at the bottom of your screen, Framers has dropped back a spot behind Iacovacci, who a few moments ago did set the fastest lap of the race. Davies also, it must be said, after a promising weekend, has faded and is now down in position number 16. Matteo Vigano, who was involved in that big accident in the pre-final, from the back of the grid, the Italian, how tough is he? From grid number 32, from an accident where his kart was near on destroyed, is now up into position 15. He's behind the German, Alexander Schmitz, who's 14th. Cavalieri, who we spoke about earlier, after a great start, has faded a couple of spots. And Cavalieri in the Maranello kart is in position 18. 9.5 laps to go for the opening final of the year for the 2016 edition of the European Championships, coming to you live on CIKFIA.tv from Le Circuit Ornay-le-Bois on Essay ici en France. That is the Essay circuit in France. A couple of 100 kilometres to the west of the French capital. And only about 150 kilometres or so from Le Mans, the circuit that hosted the World Championships just 6 short months ago. You look at Fabian Federer on screen. He comes down the hill in the Modena, I should say. Modena powered CRG car. Team owner Mike Schibeke looking on. He's booked a place on the podium, but he's going to have to close up nearly 4 seconds in the remaining 9 laps if he's going to catch the leader, Luca Corberti, who has driven a brilliant race so far. The Italian, the tallest driver in the field, it is no impediment to him. There he is, Luca Corberti, number 301, from Brescia in Italy. Calls the South Garda karting circuit home. I know he's got a lot of family and friends watching on live back in Italy. He's done thousands and thousands and thousands of laps of the circuit that he's just about grown up on, that is South Garda karting. Located only about 20 kilometres or so away from the Tony Kart factory, they have provided him the equipment to do the job. Look at the gap back to Federer. This is an absolute hiding to the rest of the field. There's Corberti going through his 3 corners ahead of the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. It is still Federer, Pex, Lorandi, Bosonzane, Irlando, then a bit of a gap back to Nicole Gonzalez in the Sodi kart. The Frenchman is 7th. Then we go back to Pacini, who himself is holding off Scattis, Dalberg, Iacovacci, Kremers, Petit, Matteo Vigano from the back of the grid. The Italian in the top kart is now up into 14th. Schmitz having a lonely drive. He holds down position number 15. Well, 4 seasons in one day. It started in sunshine. We had a few drops of rain on about lap 3. Now the sun's making an appearance once again as we near the end of lap number 18. Corberti flashes by. The gap is now officially out to more than 4 seconds, 4.001 seconds. Look at it, it's the length of the start-finish straight. Fabian Federer, a little bit of wheel spin under acceleration as he grabs 6th gear. There's Nicole Gonzalez having a lonely drive, but a good run in 7th spot. The Frenchman here in France with a good French crowd watching on. There's Federer. He's elected to go for the clear visor. You can see for this final here under threatening skies in Normandy. Once again, Lorandi. 3rd in line on the screen, gets a wheel up over the ripple strip. Paolo Bessonsone capitalises. The Frenchman has gone through on the Italian. The energy kart of Irlando watches on. So Besancone has gone through on Leonardo Lorandi, Federer, and Pex. They pull away a little bit as we look at the replay. Brilliant move by Paolo Besancone. He saw that Lorandi went a little bit wide, put two Vegas up on the blue and white. Painted concrete here in SA, says, I'll take the spot, thank you very much. Paolo Besancone now is one step away from the podium. Federer still in second, the 307 CRG. In fact, it's CRG's in second and third, being sandwiched by the Tony Karts, which run in first and fourth. That is Corberi and now Besancone. Lorandi in fifth, Irlando in sixth. Then Gonzalez in the French Sodi Kart is in seventh. Matteo Vigano has now got his way up into position number 12. He's passed 20 go-karts. So you can see we've done 20 laps. He has passed an average of one kart per lap, and that's after having a massive crash in the pre-final that brought out the red flag. Matteo Vigano as tough as they come, and that top kart obviously is doing the job as well. Federer a little bit defensive that time down the hill. Locks up the brakes, coming in under brakes. You can see it drifting as the track is still very, very greasy. A move up the inside. Pex has gone wide. Lorandi's gone through. Besancone's now up on the podium. I can tell you the French crowd appreciated that because their boy is taking the challenge to the Italians. We take a look at the replay. Besancone squeezes that Tony Kart through. Lorandi says, I'll have a piece of that as well. Stan Pex, after starting from pole position, now comes across the line. He is in fifth and 2 steps away from the podium. He himself is now under attack from the Energy Course driver, Alex Irlando. Federer, that gives him a little bit of breathing space. 302, the Tony Kart, is now on the podium. Can Leonardo Lorandi respond? The baby race driver in 4th spot with 3 laps to go. Luca Corberi, forget about it. The winner, he's on his way to the checkered flag. He's got a gap of 4.3 seconds over this battle, which is Federer, Besancone, Lorandi, Pex, and Alex Irlando in the Energy Car. Federer grabs another gear, straightens it up coming up the hill. 2 laps to go. They've taken 1/10 of a second out of Luca Corberi, but it's virtually irrelevant because it's still 4.2 seconds or around about 150 meters on this SA circuit. Besancone's got Federer in his sights. He may well catch him in the next lap or so. He's only 1 kart length back, but passing him, that'll be another thing altogether. The 2011 European champion holds down 2nd spot. Can he maintain it? As Irlando now all over the back of Stan Pex. That's the battle for 5th spot. Watch Besancone on the back of Federer. Lorandi watches on. Lorandi, who's had an eventful race to say the least, he's in 4th spot. Can Leonardo Lorandi climb up onto the podium? This is the last lap of the opening round of the European Championships from SA. Federer. He's got the Frenchman all over his tail. Can he defend it? Can he take 2nd? Or will it be 3rd or less for the 2011 European champion? Leonardo Lorandi does not want to get left behind. The leader, forget about it. They can't see which way he's gone. Luca Corberi is on his way to victory here in France. The battle is on for the final step of the podium. Watch out for Leonardo Lorandi. Besancone goes defensive, but he himself is trying to move on the inside of Federer. He can't quite do it. There's your race leader. He's soon going to be your race winner because Luca Corberi takes victory in France. What a drive by the Italian. Federer holds on to 2nd place, and Paolo Besancone, the Frenchman in France, takes the final step of the podium. Whoa! What a start to the season for the KZ2 category. Brilliant stuff here in SA. Luca Corberi has taken possibly, arguably, the biggest win of his career. He has destroyed the field here in France. He has won by 4.2 seconds the opening round of the KZ2 class, the European Championships, under, as you can see, very threatening skies. Off the line, it was Stan Pex, the pole sitter. Pacini, remember, He was in the grass. Pacini faded to finish 15th at race end. Pex, we thought it was all going to be about the Dutchman. We saw this was a brilliant move. Corberti touching wheels. Yeah, after Pex had 3 heat wins starting at the pre-final on pole position, we thought he'd be the man to beat. Corberti had other ideas. Brilliant race for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th throughout. Laurandi, we saw him dicing with Besson-Senet. Remember, we thought he was actually out after he touched with Laurandi. So, in fact, it was an even better drive than we realised from the Frenchman. Laurandi once again over the ripple strip. Clean move, though, over the energy course driver, which was Alex Irlando. A good result for Irlando, finishing in 6th spot. Laurandi fighting there with Pex. Pex would finish the race in 5th spot. A brilliant drive. Brilliant race, I should say, for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. This was Besson-Senet and Laurandi dicing all throughout the entire 25 laps. This opening European Championship round. Brilliant move this was from Besson-Senet on Laurandi. As Federer, well, they threw everything at the former Euro champ, but he did hold on for 2nd place at the end. Briefly, Laurandi was on the podium. Irlando, we thought the energy course driver would climb up as well, but not quite. Besson-Senet all over the back of Federer in the closing laps, but he couldn't quite do it. All credit goes to this man. Luca Corberti has smashed the field here in France. He has won the opening round of the European Championships in the KZ2 category. Federer 2nd, and the Frenchman here in France taking the final step of the podium. What a start to the season. There's the official results for you. Corberti, Federer and Besson-Senet. Laurandi just missing out on the podium. Pex, well, that's good points for the Dutchman at least. 5th, Irlando Gonzalez. 7th, Skaras Jakovaci and the Swede Dahlberg taking the top 10. Well, stay with us on CIKFIA.tv. We will bring you the podium, and I expect a very, very happy Luca Corberti in just a few moments. This is the opening round of the European Kart Racing Championships live from SA. Stay with us. We'll be back with the podium in just a few moments. What a race we have seen here in SA as we wait the drivers to make their way up to the podium here. They're just arriving here, putting the Vega caps on. Paolo Bessonsonet, third place for the Frenchman, second place for the 2011 European champion Fabien Federer. Defensive drive, and probably the happiest person, despite the freezing cold weather here in France today, will be Luca Corberi. Just await the drivers to make their way to the podium for the official presentations. Just a moment. So it was a Tony Kart 1 and 3 split by the CRGs. The CRG of Fabien Federer. Well, fortunately, the rain has held off. It is still bitterly cold, but I know that someone here couldn't care less about the weather at all. I've never seen Luca smile so much. He has won the opening round of the European Championships. We'll call to the podium. Ici en France. Third place, Paolo Bessonsonet. Second place, a brilliant defensive drive, the former European champion. Welcome to the second step of the podium, Fabien Federer. The winner of the opening round of the European Championships, driving for the Tony Kart Racing team. Let's hear it for Il Vincitore, Luca Corberi! And representing the winning manufacturer, the Tony Kart Racing team, Alberto Villino. We stand by for the national anthem of Italy. Third place first. Ladies and gentlemen, the podium for the opening round of the European Championships. Third place, Paolo Bessonsonet. Second, Fabien Federer. And the winner, Luca Corberi. To present the third place trophy, Monsieur Christophe Desballots, Vice President of the Council of Departmental de l'Aune, represented by Monsieur Alain Lambert. Third place trophy being presented ici en France per Paolo Bessonsonet. The second place trophy to be presented by the Vice President of the CAK, Mr. Kees van der Grint, presenting the trophy to the former Euro champion. He's made a good start to 2016, Fabien Federer. To present the winning trophy, representing Monsieur Jean-Claude Sanchez, we ask Monsieur Nicolas Deschaux, President of the FFSA, to present the winning trophy to Luca Corberi. And to present the winning trophy to the Tony Kart Racing team, Monsieur Jean-Maurice Goret, Vice President of K61, presenting the trophy to Alberto Villino. As the girls step in to present the flowers. We'll step up for a quick word with Luca Corberi, the biggest win of your career. Luca, we said through the broadcast, you destroyed them. They did not see which way you went. Fantastic drive.
Well, I didn't start so fast, but then when it started to rain, I got a big gap, and from them I tried to manage the gap and finish the race.
Luca, it's freezing cold in France, but you don't care. How do you feel personally?
Well, I don't mind. It's normal.
Thank you, Luca. Congratulations to Luca Corberi, second place Fabian Federer, and third place Paolo Besancone. The podium, KZ2, the opening round of the European Championships. Stay with us. We've got the CIK FIA Academy Trophy on the track in just a few moments.